Well, that was certainly something. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things we learned from Shane Dawson's Jake Paul series.
So the things that you wanted teachers to teach you, that you think they didn't teach you, in all honesty, are things that it's not the teacher's job. It's the parent's job.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the biggest reveals and shocking statements made on Shane Dawson's web series, The Mind of Jake Paul. Please note, we do not condone the attempted diagnosing of personality disorders or mental illness by non-professionals.
Is he or is he not a sociopath? Sets a pretty low bar for him to have to clear in order to be redeemed. In fact, it could be argued that he has less of an excuse because he's not a sociopath.
Number 10, Jake Paul doesn't believe he's a bad influence or taking advantage of kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it at all. Just because my fans are younger, does that mean I'm manipulating them?
Of the many criticisms frequently directed at controversial YouTuber Jake Paul, the way in which he profits off of young and impressionable viewers is probably one of the most frequently cited.
But I don't want to become so squeaky clean that it's not fun anymore. Does that make sense?
Going into this series, Shane made it clear that this was one of the issues he found most troubling. When the two finally get together and talk, Jake surprisingly voices a number of regrets. However, his relationship with his young viewers doesn't seem to be among them. He doesn't believe he's manipulating them and doesn't think his merchandising is problematic.
Buy that merch, buy that merch, buy that merch.
That being said, he does seem to acknowledge, to a certain extent, that with great power should come some measure of responsibility.
Clean it up! Clean it up!
So lit.
Number 9. Jake thinks very highly of himself when it comes to the success of the Martinez Twins.
I was staying at their apartment just so I could meet them and potentially sign them to Team 10.
YouTubers like to beef. It's kind of a thing. But even in an industry known for its overly dramatic and sometimes obviously fabricated beefs, Jake has had more than his fair share. When Shane questions Jake about his falling out with the Martinez twins, his response actually gives us more insight into how Jake sees himself than into the actual conflict.
I was the first person that they would ever even feel comfortable to speak English with. I don't know.
Jake talks about discovering the twins and taking them out of a bad situation by bringing them to America and teaching them English. He clearly takes great pride in their success and sees himself as their mentor. To be honest, the way he paints himself as a savior is pretty problematic.
To me, on my end, it's I loved them as little brothers.
Number 8. Team 10 never wanted fans at their house and didn't leak the address.
What do you say to the neighbors though that are upset? Then they're really upset.
No, I honestly
Can't beat them, join them.
No, I'm honestly, yeah, it's terrible. It's a bad situation. No, I feel bad for them, for sure. There's nothing we could do, though. The Jake Paulers are the strongest army out there, dab.
The old Team 10 house, located in Beverly Grove, was, inside and out, a mess. The location of many of their pranks, the mini mansion weathered more than its fair share of destruction. With tweens lining the block at all hours, hoping to catch a glimpse of the stars inside. When the address was published online, people were quick to accuse the team of intentionally leaking it, despite their protestations. Now that Nick Crompton is no longer affiliated with Team 10, he's gone on record confirming that it was in fact just a mistake. They never wanted the fans there.
There's no way of re-hiding the house. It wasn't our fault. There's no way we would want that.
Number 7. Justin Roberts is easily the weirdest Team 10 member.
How did you have 6 figures when you were only 4, Justin?
Yeah, what does that
That's
mean?
what we want to know.
So, 6 figures when I was 4.
Who could have predicted that one of the biggest curveballs in the series wouldn't come from Jake, but rather Team 10 member Justin Roberts? What makes it so impressive is that he doesn't even drop a Jake-related truth bomb. The revelation is just how strange this dude is. While Shane theorizes that Justin might have used his 6 figures to buy his way into Team 10, Nick Crompton insists that Jake only hires people in whom he sees potential. When Shane finally meets Justin face to face, he learns firsthand how unique Justin really is. He's a total oddball, which makes his appearance one of the most puzzling and entertaining parts of the series.
It was, money does grow on trees. Heard. So, I was actually born, I was planted.
Number 6. Jake asked his dad to move away.
I don't want to get involved in family drama, but I almost feel like that might be inevitable.
Justin's cameo may have been lighthearted, but this series had some darker moments, many of which came when people would start talking about Jake Paul's father, Greg. As Shane explores the family history, he begins to speculate that the way Greg raised his sons may have a lot to do with their issues. Nick Crompton even realizes that the involvement of Greg was a turning point for the worse in the Team 10 house.
Everything just started not being what it was supposed to be. And I didn't like it, I didn't like what was happening, so I left.
The major reveal arrived in the final episode, however, when Jake admitted that he'd asked his father to move back to Ohio and not be involved in Team 10 for the sake of their relationship.
I told him like weeks ago that that he should go back to Ohio and like we should just go back to like he should just be my dad.
Number 5. Jerika Is Real. One of the biggest debates surrounding Jake Paul is whether or not he and his girlfriend, Erica Costell, are really together, or whether it's all just part of their fictionalized lives. Well, in this series, we hear from various sources and get to see firsthand that these two appear to be very much in love. Nick Crompton confirms it during his interview, and considering how candid he is about his experience with Team 10, we have no reason not to believe him.
Stuff that we do is dramatized, but it's still real people.
In The Secrets of Jake Paul, we get to see Jake and Erica just hanging out and being normal. When Shane sits down with Erica alone, you can feel the love in the way she talks about Jake.
I feel like I'm the only person actually who knows everything about him, and nobody online ever gets to see that.
Number 4. The Martinez twins were likely exaggerating when they called out Jake.
He didn't care about privacy. He only cares about his name. Himself, his name.
Let's make one thing clear. Racist jokes and bullying aren't funny and are never appropriate. That being said, while we think the role that the Martinez twins were expected to play in the Team 10 house was incredibly problematic, there's probably more to this situation than the narrative they presented.
It's crazy because the Martinez twins and all of us were best friends.
In a teary-eyed video, the twins accused Jake of bullying, painting themselves as victims of his abuse. The thing is, as Nick Crompton tells it, much of the pranks that took place in the Team 10 house were planned out ahead of time, with full consent. Though we don't doubt that they were generally mistreated, this fact does make their accusations feel a bit manipulative.
Not real. It's so strange to say that.
Number 3. The pranks are fake.
Because are those kids going to watch still if they believe that, or if they know that none of it's real?
Part of the issue with the stories of abuse told by the Martinez twins is that, according to Crompton, all the major pranks were planned ahead of time. Though this might come as a shock or disappointment to some, you don't need to watch Jake Paul or Team 10 videos for long to see that many of these pranks take too much coordination to have the victims not be in on the gag. Case in point, while the Martinez twins talked about their room being destroyed, that room was clearly a hastily erected space built with the intention of being destroyed.
We were so pissed. I was in Spain, we were in Spain having fun with our family, and he destroyed our room and he destroyed our fan wall.
Apparently, the vast majority of the more elaborate pranks and stunts were similarly faked. Number 2. Alyssa sleeping with Logan was real, but she and Jake were never official.
At the end of the day, you can't just say I'm sorry and take everything back.
Sadly, this series couldn't answer all of our questions. We did get some insight into the Jake, Logan, and Alyssa love triangle, but there remains some ambiguity. Like with so much of the Team 10 drama, people suspected that Alyssa sleeping with Logan was manufactured drama. However, in her interview with Shane, Alyssa admits to sleeping with Logan.
Don't ever tell Jake, I don't ever want this to get out, it was so stupid. And he was listen, I'm a savage, I'm a maverick.
What she doesn't agree with, however, is that it was cheating. According to her, she and Jake were never officially a couple, and Jake often hooked up with other girls. Whatever the nature of their relationship, Jake makes it clear that he was still hurt by Alyssa and Logan's hookup.
She wanted me to find out, and that was her way of hurting me.
Number 1. Logan Paul believes he and his brother both have sociopathic tendencies.
Sociopath is boiled down someone who is just more savage than everyone else.
Let's get one thing straight. Personality disorders should never be identified or diagnosed by non-professionals. And if a therapist is willing to practice their trade on YouTube, you probably shouldn't trust their judgment either. With that being said, arguably the biggest bomb drop of the entire series was when Logan Paul came out and admitted to Shane off-screen that he had sociopathic tendencies, stipulating that he was not, however, a sociopath.
The word I would like to use is sociopathic tendencies. So a lot of us, me included, will do some dumb shit, maybe some stuff that lacks empathy, strictly for views.
Furthermore, he told Shane that he believes Jake also has sociopathic tendencies, but that he's actually jealous of Jake's capacity for empathy, clarifying that he doesn't believe Jake is a total sociopath either. Well, that settles that then.
I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm just here to apologize. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm disappointed in myself. And I promise to be better.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.